So the question is music an idea or is it an act?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's a good question. Well, the thing about music is that it's very hard to define. Mm-hmm. It defies definition. I mean, everybody has their own idea of what music is. Yeah. And as we know, Indians think music is Indian music, Chinese think that music is Chinese music, and Europeans think it's European music, and everything else is not music. Furthermore, classical people who like classical music think that only classical music is music, and jazz and pop music are not music, etc. So there isn't any general agreement about what music is. It's rather different from, say, mathematics. So music is very difficult to define, and it may be both ideas and acts. It might be neither of the two. You know, after all, music is different from ideas. Ideas are usually things that can be expressed with by words, and similarly. You can say that playing the piano is an act, yes, but music in general is hard to say that it's an act. Music has been around for about 40,000 years at least. And during most of that time, you could say that probably, yes, music is mainly an act, which is playing music. Whether it's singing or playing instruments or whatever, it is something that you do, not something that you think about and not something that is done to you, but something that you do. However, today there is some confusion about this, because if you ask people on the street what music is, why, I think that a large number of people who would answer would say that, well, music is a piece of plastic that you buy in a store, or some wires that come out of your ears, go into an eye, or something like that. That's what music is. And so there's some confusion about what it is that we're talking about. Perhaps it's safe to. Perhaps you can say that music is neither an idea nor an act, but it's whatever you think it is. Nobody seems to know, and in fact, music seems to be one of the most difficult things to talk about or write about. A great deal is written about it, but not much of it makes much sense.
Yeah.
The people who are able to say something intelligent about music are very few. So we're at an extreme disadvantage here in dealing with this question, and yet it's a good question. I think we want another one of these.
Why do people say that your music is political? I read a specific phrase. They call it musical activism.
Musical activism?
Yes.
Well, I don't know where you read that. There are specific forms which you can imagine in which music, quite apart from the words or whatever, may have some kind of... Well, let's take a very well-known example, like the Internationale, the song.
What's that?
Well, it's the song of the Socialist International, which was for a long time symbolized the international workers' movement. And perhaps today it's less well known among younger people than it used to be, but even today it's still pretty well known, the chorus at least. Bum ba bum 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 ba dum bum bum. Okay. If you know the tune, if you know what it is, why the tune itself is enough to bring certain ideas to mind. But it's true, you have to have some experience, some knowledge of what the music is about. I don't think very much is understood about what happens when we hear music. We know that something happens, but I don't think we know what it is. Progress is being made in understanding the brain and how it works and so forth. So maybe in a few hundred years, we will know something about why music has the effect that it appears to have. Anyway, in a way, these things are not important because in art, it is not important whether artists understand what they are doing or not. It really does not matter. The only thing that matters is doing the art. But probably most artists do not understand what they are doing.